Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. Please continue to pray for me and my career pivot to Taiwan. I'm going to be traveling in Taiwan in the near future. I got a publication on AI for some uh, natural language processing that I'm going to be presenting in Taiwan. And while I do that, I hope to network with the right people and pivot my career to Taiwan. And something happened this morning, once again, that was kind of another last straw for why I want to do this. And I teach at a community college. I get along with all of my students and my work. What I don't get along with is the fact that people come at each other instead of working together. It's not unusual for people to make big issue out of a minor inconvenience, right? So, for example, uh, one of my colleagues was emailing me about the way I had set up the material, and he and I both teach the same class, and he could have just asked me, but he decided to CC the whole team to kind of make me look bad. And I kind of got a feeling why he did that. I mean, we're very competitive in the department, and people come at each other like that all the time. Now, I answered him, and I I made it seem like no big deal, so just in case anybody would look at it. Now, a few weeks ago, I had another issue just like that. What had happened was that getting close to the finals week, and you see, at the office, our microwave oven is a disaster. Because everybody treats it like somebody else's problem, right? You can imagine, right? And I have food allergies. As if mess wasn't bad enough, the potential of getting a skin rash on top of that, right? I was in a hurry, so I lined the microwave with some paper towels just so I wouldn't come into contact with all the burnt food on the walls of the microwave. And I heated up my food. Now, as I was doing that, I get a text message from one of my students. Finally, I've been waiting for him he had missed a few homeworks and all. He had family emergency or something to that effect. I've been waiting for him for a long time, and quite frankly, he might have been making excuses anyway. But it was good. I finally got to see him, but I forgot about my food. Next thing I know, one of my colleagues, not only does he email me about it, he took a picture of it, and he CC'd the boss about it. I mean, this is something I could have cleaned up in 2 seconds. And plus, most of that mess wasn't even me. None of my food spilled over. The mess was already there. I mean, yeah, I did line the place with paper towels. And it's like, gee, just remind me. He could have even came up to me while I was talking with he knows where my office is. He has my phone number, and he just wanted to make me look bad. And this constant on edge, um, give you an idea. Every time I open my email or listen to my messages on my phone, it's like I have to brace myself. It's kind of like we're all talking about Doge, and everybody's anxious about getting an audit from the IRS, but opening my work email or listening to my phone messages kind of has that vibe to it nowadays. And I can't imagine it playing that out like that in a culture where people actually work together, like in Taiwan. The other thing I don't like here is how much time I have to spend driving on the road. Now, to be fair, when I was in Taiwan, I also spent a lot of time on the subway, but that's preferable. You get to interact with people on the subway, and you're not burning your mental energy on there, right? This past week, I had numerous near-miss car accidents. The other day, not only that, but I've been losing my patience, especially when I have the misfortune of being in front of somebody who's just a chicken with driving. The other day, I almost got into a road rage situation. What had happened was I had the misfortune of being behind somebody who could have turned right on a red, but was too chicken to do that. And when we got up to the next light, I got out of the car and I mocked chicken at him. It was a young driver, and he was pretty upset about that. Um, that's just the kind of stress I've been under. But I do love all of my students, even the ones who cause drama and miss work. I had one student who was so heartbroken about breaking up with a girl, and this was 2 years ago when I still championed the idea of going out by yourself, and I convinced him to go out by himself, and he had a really good time, and so he didn't date for quite some time after. He was so convinced by what I had told him at the time, but my boss was so upset that this was at the tutoring center. My boss thought I had overstepped some boundaries by quote unquote converting him, and he was upset about that. And I had another student who was learning about. He was learning social studies, and I he had learned about mercantilism, and I gave him the analogy. It's just like so mercantilism is all about accumulating surpluses so you can hoard gold, right? And I told him as an analogy, it's just like me. Even though I could afford to live alone, I live with roommates. I eat really cheaply. I'm always looking for a bargain, and then I accumulate bismuth, right? So you can just think of it like that, right? And so he didn't know what bismuth was, obviously, and I explained that it was a metal just almost as rare as gold that nobody wants right now, but it might be the future gold. He had been saving money to buy a car. I think he was getting ready to drive, and he took some of that money and bought a big bismuth bar, and his mom was so upset. At first was upset, but then laughed about it. And so I've had other encounters like that. I had one student who had a crush on me at the community college, and so at first I ignored her. But then earlier this year, we had the school carnival, and I told her how I was going to protest at the carnival. And the reason I needed to protest was that some of the carnival rides need two people to ride, and the operators always give me heck when I go there alone looking for somebody to get on the ride with me. The operators always give me heck about that. Even if I could find somebody, they always give me heck for causing disruption. So this year I'm going to go alone and get on the ride alone anyway, and see what the operator's going to do, right? Because obviously he can't start the ride. They'll probably have to either find somebody to get on the ride with me, or forcefully remove me from the ride and cause a scene. I was going to protest that. And so my student, she's 16 years old, suggested why doesn't she come with me to the carnival instead of having me protest there? And so we had a good time there. And I guess the protest could wait for some other time. I still need to protest because the goal wasn't just to get on the ride, right? The goal is equality, right? It's kind of like imagine if. Instead of protesting on the bus, Rosa Parks had just somehow tanned her skin white, right? That wouldn't do what she wanted. I mean, her goal wasn't just to ride the bus, right? All right. Anyway, I have a good time with all the work involved. It's how it's managed. It's the everybody stabbing at each other, and also the commute that really bothers me a lot. And I think we could learn a lot from other countries. After all, none of this nonsense that I complain about actually gets work done, right? This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.